What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get tons of Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to of course hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out for any upcoming uploads. Today we're actually checking out the results of the Fukuoka Champions League over in Japan with 5,000 players. We already took quite the in-depth analysis on DECKLISTS deck that he actually top cutted with at the event, and today we're going to be checking out the top 16 deck list, and we're going to be talking about which decks are very promising post-rotation. Things to note is that Manaphy has rotated, so you can snipe the bench wherever you feel like, making Wellspring Ogerpon very strong, and without Cologne, canceling Cologne in the format, walling archetypes, or actually walling cards like Mimikyu, Cornerstone, Fairy Giraffe EX, and Milotic EX become way more popular and perform crazy. So we're going to be checking out the results, checking out the top 16 deck lists. If you guys are excited, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways to support the channel. It takes one tiny second every time, and it will have yourself a little bit of an insight on what to expect in the post-rotation format. As mentioned, there's going to be a set releasing in March. At the end of March, we're getting Owner's Pokemon, the Journey Together set over in the West. And that also means that 2 weeks after the set has been released, we're going to be seeing a big rotation. I already taken a look at a lot of cards that we're going to be losing. There's a link down below in the description as well if you want to learn more about the rotation. But pretty much every single year, Pokemon actually rotates a couple of sets out to make the games fresh. And in Japan, they're already playing with the post-rotation format. So we have a lot of knowledge that we're going to be diving in today. So first place winning list is Feraligatr. I did make a video about Feraligatr not that long ago, so you already know what it's all about. You can use the ability that it has to put, of course, some damage onto yourself. And if you use the ability on Feraligatr, you're actually slapping 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. The only thing you need to do is put 5 damage counters on yourself, and with the help of Munkidori, that damage that you put on yourself is not even a bad thing. So you can just put it back on the opponent right easily. And there's also the capabilities of having Relicanth in play, meaning you can use attacks of the Totodile to trap opponents so they can no longer retreat, or go for the hit and run attack of the Crocodile. And if you use the Torrential Heart ability, you also slap 120 more damage with those attacks, making this deck a very cool hit and run deck. There is a 2-2 line of Milotic in here. For people that don't know what Milotic is all about, Milotic is one of those Pokemon cards that allow you to actually wall off Terra Pokemon. There's a lot of Terra Pokemon out there. Wellspring Ogerpon, Tealmask Ogerpon, Charizard, Dragapult, Terrapagos, Pikachu, the list goes on. So with that many Terra Pokemon in the format, Milotic is thriving in this post-rotation meta, because there is no longer a way to deal with it quite easily. We no longer have canceling Cologne. What else do we see in this deck is Mimikyu, very easy to just wall off EX and V Pokemon. All the V Pokemon have rotated, so it's pretty much there to wall off EX Pokemon, and it's going to be the hit and run strategy that you mostly use with Feraligatr. You slap damage and retreat into something like Mimikyu or Milotic, and the opponent will need to have answers in order to deal with that. There's, of course, water energies in here that does allow you to sometimes have Milotic as the attacking Pokemon. There's the Precious Trolley, so you can go wide on the board, and 4 copies of Arven will make sure you can get your stuff going. Definitely with 2 copies of TM Evo. So this is going to be a mainstay archetype, which I am very happy about for sure. So Feraligatr Milotic, first place winning list. It is incredible to see. Moving forward, we see here is going to be the second place list. It is Gholdengo. That's right, Gholdengo has slowed down its popularity quite a bit with the introduction of Budu and the item lock, but we do see a return here with Gholdengo getting second place, but it does come with a partner. The partner for Gholdengo is going to be Dragapult. Sometimes in specific matchups, you can prefer to use Dragapult over Gholdengo, because if you get item locked and stuff, you can still go with Munkidori plays, knock out the Budu, and then attack with Dragapult, because sometimes you're running out of energies. But Gholdengo very strong with, of course, that superior energy search, or actually energy search pro. You can get out any different types of basic energies, a whole bunch of them, and get them instantly in the hand. Very strong. I also did quite well at a cup with Gholdengo, like in the last format. So Very cool to see that, and it's a very cool combination between Dragapult and Goldango. The cool thing is that the list also plays 2 copies of TM Evo, so TM Evo getting more play than ever before in the post-rotation format, just to get a setup going. And the cool thing is that Dracloak also comes back with a draw ability, and in combination with coin bonus, you do see a lot of cards. As mentioned, Radiant cards have completely been removed from the competitive scene, so you don't see any Radiant Greninja, any Radiant Charizard, all that stuff. So it's pretty much there. The only draw power are like the Pokemon themselves, instead of like relying on Radiant Pokemon. So this list has been performing quite well and got 2nd place. So Goldango sees a new partner with Dragapult EX. Now let's head over to the 3rd place. Is going to be a Blissey deck. It's been a blast from the past. There has been videos about Blissey before on the channel, but let's be honest, Blissey has always been a mediocre pick because one-shot decks were in the format. Think about Roaring Moon EX, think about Raging Bolt, all those things. But they no longer seem to be that prevalent in the post-rotation format, making Blissey EX quite a great play. If people are not able to one-shot Blissey, you can simply go for Monkey Dory plays. There is also the capabilities of walling some of these archetypes out with Fairy Giraffe, Milotic, or Cornerstone. And the cool thing is that if there are energies on the Blissey, you can use the Happy Switch to just put them on other Pokemon. So you start the game off with TM Energize, get energies into play, evolve into Blissey, and put the energies on the correct walling Pokemon. As mentioned, Milotic is part of the squad, but also Fairy Giraffe, making it actually preventing all damage done to it from EX Pokemon, basic EX Pokemon. So if you're up against a basic deck only, think about the Terra deck that we talked about earlier. This Fairy Giraffe will actually be very, very powerful. There is, of course, also the good old classic Cornerstone, walling off archetypes like Charizard, for example. And with the help of Night Stretcher, you can get that back. Heroescape as the ace-pack card of choice, and that does put Cornerstone into some ridiculous numbers, even the other walling Pokemon. Which we love to see. There's 2 copies of the Tatsugiri in here. That's very, very good, because then you can find your Arven, and this list wants to go second. Either go for TM Evo or go for TM Energize, depending on which setup you want to have. So cool to see Blissey in action here, getting 3rd place. Then we have another top 4, and that's also a walling archetype, this time around without the Blissey package. We still see Fairy Giraffe, we see Milotic, and we see Cornerstone, so a little bit of the same. There's counter gain in this list. Town Store could also get yourself TM Energize or TM Evo, and there is that ace pack card allowing you to heal, I think, 80 damage, correct me if I'm wrong. So that ace pack card could also help to heal if the opponent just say, oh, I don't have ways to deal with this unless I have attack with my basic Pokemon, for example a Charmeleon or whatever you name it. You can still heal off all that damage. I would also love a Lost City in this 60 to just deal with threats that can technically attack you. But I really think walling Pokemon will have it good in the future. Definitely in consideration with Canceling Cologne being removed from competitive scene. We see, this Terra box deck. I talked about it before. Tord Reckless played something very similar. The only new card that is actually being played in this 60 is going to be that Clefairy. And that Clefairy actually comes back with a very cool ability, allowing you to transform the weakness of Dragon Pokemon to ×2 weakness of Psychic, meaning that the full Moon Rondo can deal with those quite easily. So you have a great answer against stuff like Dragapult EX, against stuff like Raging Bolt, which is super powerful indeed. Another great Pokemon card that actually sees a lot of play currently is going to be that fantastic Pikachu EX, and the reason for that is that you can easily power it up through the means of Crispin. Crispin is one of the main supporters in this 60. You use a Noctowl engine, you have access to Teal Dance Ogerpon and E-Switch as well, so you can power up Pikachu quite easily. And there's also the ways where you can power up the Wellspring Ogerpon, and that is going to be allowing you to snipe, and without Manaphy in the format, that's really powerful. There's even Sparkling Crystal to help out as well. So all relying on big basics in that sense is that you can wall this off, as mentioned, with the Fairy Giraffe, which actually was able to dominate Then we see top 8 list. Again, more of the walling capabilities that we see here. This time around, we do see something like a Rigged Band in the 60, and the big winner is in the post rotation for it, the Feraligatr, because the big basic deck was actually pretty good. You don't have Canceling Cologne to deal with any of those, so it's gonna be very powerful moving forward. Crispin to power it up, and Rigged Band to stay alive. Even the Luxurious Cape to help Mimikyu also be a very annoying thing to deal with. Also Milotic and Cornerstone. So yeah, the walling Pokemon fanatics rise, because this is your time to shine. Another top 8 list playing Cornerstone, Feraligatr, Milotic, Monkey Dory. So yeah, we're gonna have to get a card that can deal with Pokemon that can wall. We no longer have ways to shut down abilities. You could do it with an Iron Thorns, I suppose, but yeah, it's gonna be difficult to go through all of these wallings. Yeah, we have Milotic that protects itself from Terra Pokemon, Feraligatr protects itself from basic Pokemon EX, Cornerstone protecting itself from Pokemon with abilities, and Mimikyu with protecting yourself against any EX whatsoever. So yeah, Hero Escape, the ace pack card of choice. Then Charizard also got top 8. So a Charizard is still alive and well. If you're a Charizard believer, you can still play Charizard. This is a very risky list, as we haven't seen that much Budew in the post-rotation format. A lot of lists just put Budew down to the wayside. There's a lot of walling archetypes. There's a lot of that fast turbo Terra Pokemon decks out there. So Budew sees a little bit less play. And in this 60, we do see Terrapagos. So if you get Budew, you can still rely upon Terrapagos to deal with that. You have a Dusknoir package into your 60. And with Noctowl, you can get any 2 trainers if a Terra Pokemon is in play. Note to self is that Charizard is also a Terra Pokemon. And there is a Briar in this 60, allowing you to manipulate the price trade, blow up a Dusknoir, and go for Briar plays when the opponent least expects it. Maximum Belt as the ace pack card of choice. Continuing on, top 16, we're gonna have a couple of top 16 lists here currently, and that's going to be Dracopult. Dracopult Dusknoir is already a deck that has been performing really well in the Prismatic Evolutions format, and not a lot has changed for this archetype. We do lose Lumineon, we do lose Rotom and all that stuff, but most of these lists were not playing them to begin with. Double Budew out there, Unfair Stamp as the ace pack card of choice, and a very thick Dusknoir package 2-1-2 line, just to make sure with the combination of Phantom Dive that you swoop the opponent's entire field. EXP share also part of this 60. Then there is another Terra deck, and that was actually I think a very Terra box deck with the help of Teal Mask, Ogerpon to stitch it all together with E-Switch combos, Sparkling Crystal, Pikachu. So the main 3 Pokemon are there. That's the 3. That's the squad right there, allowing you to, of course, go for Crispin, Sparkling Crystal, Teal Dance, E-Switch combos. And with Latias, you have free retreat on all of your Pokemon. There's one line of the Feraligatr. So as mentioned, that seems to be the big winners. The big winner after rotation, Feraligatr. Put that down into your binder as you can currently, because they're very cheap, but they will rise in price. Tord Reckless, as mentioned, used a very similar 60. We did do a full analysis on that deck already, so I'm not going to go in detail. We did talk about the most important cards before. If you want to have a full detailed analysis on the Tord Reckless deck, there is a video on the channel where you can do just that. Okay, then another top 16 list where we see more Feraligatr action. Yeah, it looks like if the big basic Terra deck gets popular, this just auto wins it. You just evolve into Feraligatr, and what can they do, right? Same goes for Cornerstone. If you're up against Charizard, just put that down. What can they do, right? It's gonna be one of those annoying decks in the format that, yeah, people will need to have answers for, because if you don't have answers, this will run away with the tournament, and that's very scary indeed. Next up, a top 16 list for Raging Bolt. Seems like Raging Bolt is still alive and well. It has some troubles with all of these walling capabilities, definitely with Mimikyu, but this 60 is playing a baby Raging Bolt, which can snipe a little bit. There is a Ditto, and that allows you to transform into any Pokemon you want on your very first turn. Fan Rotom can fetch that out. You have, instead of going for Radiant Greninja time and time again, which has rotated, by the way. You can now resort to Noctowl. Typically, this deck wants to go second just to donk people, but if you go first, you can establish a couple of Hoot, and if that happens, you can then simply evolve into the Noctowl and get your puzzle pieces together. Another cool thing is that with Fan Rotom, you also have an answer against Mimikyu, which is really welcome for a deck like this. Prime Catcher, no more of the YOLO Pokemon catchers in this 60, just going for straight up big damage output, and it has still 240 HP, even though Lily's Clefairy can still deal with this. Lily Clefairy is also a 2-prizer, so you go 2 for 2, which is not a bad thing at all. Then ends Zoroark in top 16. Believe it or not, and Zoroark is a new card from Journey Together that actually will see some competitive play. It comes back with the tradability as we all adore from back in the days of Shining Legends, coming back to just discard a card from hand, draw 2, and you also come back with the Night Joker to copy paste any benched Ents Pokemon they're attacked and use it as this attack without needing the required energies. So you can copy paste their Manatan to snipe, so that actually slaps 90 damage, and you can snipe an opponent as well. So if you want to just check that out, their Manatan is also a very, very scary Pokemon to deal with. 90 to the active, discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, and then 90 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that's an attack which you can copy paste with an Zoroark, or just rely on reversal energy to get it off. And then because the deck also plays a lot of darkness energies, you can sometimes even attack with the Petrant EX in the late game, but more importantly, the Ents PP up. The item card allows you to accelerate to your Ents Pokemon very easily, and you also come back with like free retreat with all your Ents Pokemon because of that Stadium card. So lots of crazy things for an archetype like this. You have sniping capabilities with Ents Darmanitan, and no mana fees are around. And you can also copy paste the Reshiram. So if you get damaged, you can slap for a ridiculous amounts of damage in return. So very cool things from this archetype for sure. There's also the Pokemon League headquarters as a way out, and with the help of like stuff like the Binding Mochi and you using Lily's the Petrant EX to poison yourself, put your Zoroark in the active position with Binding Mochi, you can up your numbers quite ridiculously. So very cool combos, and Zoroark is going to be a deck. Then a top 16 list for Flareon EX. Flareon EX is very cool. It has been a card from Prismatic Evolutions, probably the strongest evolution from the bunch, and that actually is able to slap 280 quite easily. You have access to Crispin, an Attach of Turn, and the Glass Trumpet. And with Glass Trumpet, you can accelerate to your benched Carlos Pokemon, and with the Noctowl combos and Earthen Vessel and all that stuff, you can get some cool combos going. There's even the Briar in there, the Black Belt, helping you for bigger damage output. If you put a Black Belt in play, the Flareon is able to slap 320 damage. It's actually an archetype which you can already currently play. I have not made a video about it just yet, but the EV deck could do some stuff. It got top 16 at Fukuoka Champions League, so it's definitely doing something right. Then we have another Goldango to finish off the top 16. And this Goldango deck, instead of going for Dragapult for the Dracloak draw engine, you went for the Dunsparce. That's right, the Dunsparce is going to be able to loop itself back in the deck, and in combination with coin bonus, you can just run away with games quite easily, have a humongous amount of cards in hand. There is still that Stadium card allowing you to get 2 lightning energies back from the discard pile. That could be really helpful to just get energies back quite easily if the Stadium sticks around. And if you do get Budood, that's going to be really intense for a deck like this. But as you saw, not a lot of decks are playing Budood post-rotation. So this is my top 16 run-through of the Fukuoka Champions League. What can you run down? Goldango did really well. The Terra Box did well. And Zoroark is one of the very few new archetypes joining itself into the format. We saw Raging Bolt surviving. A whole heap of hype for walling archetypes, Fairy Giraffe, Milotic. Get yourself some of these copies, they are performing really well. Dragapult also still around, and Charizard, those are decks that will never go away. And I would just say walling archetypes are great, but the cool thing is that Feraligatr won the entire event. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways. Prepare yourself for the post-rotation format by making a couple of these decks already. It's gonna be quite interesting seeing all these VSTAR rotates and having a fresh meta. We are still in the early phases of the post-rotation content, so people will still innovate on decks, definitely over in the West, mark my words. So the best is yet to come. We're going to be doing set reviews for Journey Together and all that coming soon. But first of all, the EUIC, the European International Tournament, is coming this weekend. I'll be attending that event. So if the uploads are a little bit lackluster, the reason for that is that I am in London. I'm going to be vlogging, so you're going to be definitely getting your fair share of EUIC as well. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG content. Have a great day. Peace.